I'm Wade,
Creed,
and this is Slightly Mediocre, where I have a funny catchphrase, but I forget what it is.
it's something special, but it's mediocre. But hey, so today we're talking about Lord of the Rings, the entire movie saga. So we're going to be talking about a little bit about the books, a little bit about the novels, but just mainly about the movie saga. All, all of them. So
The Hobbit Trilogy.
yeah, Hobbit trilogy, and why not? We'll talk about the extended director's cut too.
But we promise not to take 24 hours to go through it all. We'll probably just do this in 24 minutes.
Peter Jackson. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the whole saga. We're just gonna talk about from the start. So I guess if you want to follow the books, we'll start with the Hobbit. So so the Hobbit movies came out, years after the original films were done, and they used some of the actors that were in the original films, which was really good. I'm pretty sure that Orlando Bloom does not age. He's one of those actors that is immortal, along the right up there with
he might be an elf.
I think of him.
He might be an actual wood elf.
Yeah, honestly, because he doesn't age. Him and Keanu Reeves do not look a day older than they were.
Well, Keanu Reeves is open to the Matrix. That's why he doesn't age.
Yeah, and
he just appears as constantly 24.
They had this recent interview with Keanu talking about how he looks really similar to this guy from the 1800s, and he's like, "Oh, is that me? I don't know." And they just casually brush it off, but I'm pretty sure the man's just immortal, and that goes the same for Orlando Bloom. But the Hobbit films were great. They brought in a new cast, new characters, and they really stuck fairly close to the novels. The saga as a whole, both the original Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, all followed Tolkien's novels pretty well, which is really good because those are great novels. I read them in high school. I was forced to read them. But I really didn't feel forced because I really enjoy Tolkien's writing, and I really enjoy those stories.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is this is a time where authors were really taking the time to write a solid book.
Yeah.
With a lot of backstory, with a lot of detail and interest and everything like that. And the fact that Tolkien made up his own language for the book, this is just amazing. And there's people that are dedicated to learning that language now, and it's insane. It's like the Star Trek when
Klingon,
the Trekkies with Klingon. Yeah, it's insane. So the main thing, I read The Hobbit. It was a great book. I loved it. The Lord of the Rings, I also read, but I didn't like them nearly as much as The Hobbit. I felt The Hobbit was a little more interesting.
Yeah, lots of action, and it was really good book.
And it wasn't 3 books.
No, which was surprising how they managed to make 3 whole films out of 1 book.
Peter Jackson, you have something to answer for here.
But hey, he did a great job, honestly. And one thing I will say about all the films, especially, is that the locations they filmed them in were beautiful. They went to New Zealand. They filmed in the hills there, which is great.
I'm pretty sure Peter Jackson is the only reason why New Zealand has an economy anymore. That's really I swear he's been living there for 10 years making these movies, and and then it's next thing you know, it's another hit. My thing is it doesn't even take me 6 hours to read the Hobbit book, yet it takes me 8 hours to watch the movies.
Extended director's cut,
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, the movies definitely stuck to the book very well.
Oh, yeah.
Even the ridiculously long dialogue between Bilbo and Smaug, but it was still really good. I prefer that trilogy over Lord of the Rings, honestly.
Yeah.
There's more updated CGI.
The CGI is great.
It's a lot better on the eyes. It's not really dated yet.
No, and the props that they use were great too. They actually they use real swords sometimes. They use real weapons, real armor, and that's really cool.
And I think part of it is the story is more interesting.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, there's definitely some dry parts. There's so slow parts. And,
Frodo.
You got Frodo, you got
complaining.
You got the love interest between Aragorn and that chick. I forget her name. What's her name?
Oh man.
The elf princess.
Yeah.
Arwen.
Arwen, yeah,
Arwen.
yeah.
See, it's coming
There
back
we
to me.
go, yeah.
I'm a true nerd, I swear. But it's just like, oh my lord, it's just insane how long those movies are. And if you try to marathon them, even the original cut, it's like 18 hours.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, I don't have 18 hours to spend watching some movies.
But if you do have 18 hours to spend, these are great films to marathon. Great films to just like put in there and just like forget whatever you forget your job, forget feeding your cat, your dog, just forget everything.
Don't do that because that's animal abuse.
Yeah, don't forget to do that. But these films like really get you like just take you somewhere else.
Yeah, and overall, I really like the fantasy aspect of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's nice. It kind of takes you. It's wonderment. Everything like that. The Lord of the Rings trilogy. Now when I watch it, I just skip through all the Frodo scenes because Frodo, Elijah Wood, I like as an actor. I feel like he does far better in Wilfred than he does in Lord of the Rings. Honestly.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings was his first major role, but still. But yeah, Elijah Wood, and I know Peter Jackson did a lot of this because he's Peter Jackson and a perfectionist. He's like the modern Stanley Kubrick, and he wants things done a certain way. But my thing is Peter Jackson wanted him to be the whiny little turd that Frodo is, and I don't like that. It's so annoying. It's so long. It's so stupid and so drawn out, and it doesn't need to be. That could have easily been a 90-minute movie.
Oh yeah,
easily. And the fact that the entire last movie is really just them walking like maybe 5 miles.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like they were there at the end of the second movie. Like they were.
Yeah,
and then the third movie is just
they reached the gates. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were there, and then the Dementor-looking things. That's a Harry Potter reference.
Gosh.
Yeah. But like the wraiths.
The ring wraiths.
Yeah, the ring wraiths. I like them. I think they're kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like there's got to be a time where they stop. And oh my lord, the dialogue with was it Merry or Pippin in the tree?
Oh yeah, Merry and Pippin in the tree. Yeah,
dude, how I understand this tree is talking slowly, but really, Peter Jackson, you can put a little bit of a fast forward on that.
So cut, man. You gotta make it long.
Bro, I don't need to hear this tree dude, sitting there talking forever. That was half the movie, But I like Gandalf.
Oh yeah,
Gandalf's always a win. The
Sir Ian McKellen, yeah, great actor.
Yeah, the scene in Fellowship of the Ring where Bilbo's in the Riverdale and he's he sees the ring on Frodo and he's just like
There's so many memes.
They made it into so many memes and I love it.
And that's another thing too, with these films, so many memes have come out of them. One does not simply,
Yeah, and they're meme-tastic.
Oh,
but the thing is that scene used to scare the crap out of me because I used to be afraid of Gollum. Gollum was the freakiest thing I've ever seen. I don't like him. Now I'm cool with him, but I didn't like him. I didn't like how he looked. It just kind of freaked me out. Granted, I watched this movie when it first came out. I was 8. So, it's a little freaky, right? And then you got all this other, Lord of the Rings stuff going on. So, it's a lot for an 8-year-old to handle. But
my precious.
Yeah, for real though, right? And, sorry, I had a hair in my mouth.
Oof, technical difficulty.
It's disgusting. I mean, it's just like an eyelash. I don't know what it is. But anyway, so that really freaked me out. But after seeing that scene of Bilbo going, I laughed every time I watched that movie. And it's not supposed to be a comedy.
Oh, yeah. No. They got lighter moments in the films.
I love the banter between Merry and Pippin. That's really the only reason I watch them anymore.
Yeah, Merry and Pippin were pretty cool. The actors are funny themselves, one of the actors, he was in Lost. I forget the guy's name. He was in Lost.
Yeah, he was the heroin addict in Lost.
Yeah, that's a great TV show also. But all in all, these films are great. The soundtracks were amazing. Beautiful compositions. all performed by an orchestra, which was really, really good.
I mean, it was John Williams-esque.
You know,
It really was. Like, you know, like.
I do my homework to those. I put the soundtracks on.
Yeah.
That's what I do my homework to.
And they're like the only one I don't like is when Marion is sitting there singing his song to that weird dude. Aragon's Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like I hate that. Every time that scene comes on, I just fast forward through it.
For me, what bugged me about that scene was how focused the camera was on the man eating. I wasn't
spittle, gristle, and drool.
Yeah, like when he was breaking open, like I've never seen. Like the part where like he bites into the tomato and the freaking juices come out, and just like turns me off. I'm like, ugh. Like napkin, man, use a freaking napkin. No one eats a tomato like that, or like breaking the chicken like all awkward like. No one does that.
Creed, we are a family channel. You shouldn't be talking about what turns you on and turns you off.
Hey man, I didn't mean it like that, but it just like kind of disgusted me. Like just watching how like no one bites into. Plus, I hate tomatoes. Tomatoes are disgusting. I don't like tomatoes. I'm not a tomato fan.
They're good.
But I digress. These are great films. You know, like we said, they're very long. So if you want to do, I think we included this in our marathon list last season.
I think we did. It's been a season. So
yeah, so we definitely recommend all these films for like, you know, if you want to marathon something, just put something in for the family, and there's like good life lessons to take out of them as well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, granted, there are some gory bits, so if you have little ones, you know, that's
gotta watch out.
You gotta like skip through it, or you know, make them close their eyes or whatever. I know the one scene where like the mega orc comes out of like that placenta in Fellowship.
Oh yeah.
That was weird.
When the Uruk-hai got born.
Yeah, and he's just like, you know, he's like in the sack. It's similar to Alien.
And there are a few beheadings too.
Yeah,
so
there's
for the little ones,
quite a few beheadings.
Yeah, just fast forward to those scenes for your little ones.
The dude, it's a very
technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical. Ooh. Anyway, so as I was saying, the scene where that dude that turns Creed off about eating lights himself on fire
and falls down
and falls off the precipice. That's probably not a great scene to watch with children. However, the ghost like kings and stuff, that was an awesome scene. And the like final battle with all the elephants and stuff, that was really cool.
That was cool. I like the charges right here while the horses go down.
Oh yeah,
charging that's pretty
like,
cool.
Super cinematic.
And they actually use a good amount of actual horses for that scene, which is really neat. You know, I think they can contact some of the local farmers. That's one thing that really adds to the realism of the films. And also like back to the Hobbit, the final battle in the the Battle of the Five Armies, the final film, that was a really well directed battle.
The sets in the Hobbit were amazing. Like the River City, like oh my lord, like most of that was real, and that's just insane to me. Like how much money and time and effort the production crew put in to get it to look that good.
Oh yeah, and you can actually visit the actual Hobbit village. They actually built it on site in New Zealand. You can go there. And I think you can actually rent out. You can rent out a room. They're like Airbnbs.
You can rent out a room, and then you can also take a tour around like the hills and everything, and show the filming location. They do a whole thing about it. Actually, one of my friends from college did that.
Oh, nice.
And she absolutely loved it. It was insane. That was actually part of the I forget what the Easy Break or EF College Break or something like that. It was part of one of those deals. But yeah, no, it's really nice. You know, super scenic. If you're in New Zealand, I definitely recommend it. Unfortunately, last time I was in New Zealand, they didn't have that. I mean, they did, but I wasn't allowed to go because I was, it was too bad. We were stuck to the beach.
Yeah, the beaches there are nice.
Yeah, the beaches are super nice, but that's besides the point. I wanted to go see Hobbits.
But hey, so thank you all again for tuning in. Well, just let us know what you all thought about the Hobbit films and the Lord of the Rings films as a whole. Also, let us know if you guys read the novels. We've both read the novels and enjoyed all of them, novels and the films together. Like just to recap, great acting, great scenery, great choreography, great, everything was just great for the films. Like there's really nothing for me that I could, say to detract aside from like some slow points, in the films, which extended cut. That's what you get. If you go to the extended cut, you're gonna get a lot of extra dialogue. So that's just a given.
Yeah, and the extended cut, personally, like I'm pretty sure that's all they sell anymore. I don't think they sell the original theatrical cut unless you are able to get it on DVD. But nowadays they just sell them in the box set as the like director's cut or the director's extended cut.
Well, I think they give you the option too. I think when you go to the box set, you can choose the extended cut or theatrical version on the actual disc.
Oh yeah, you might be able to. And I know on iTunes they have them and everything like that.
Yeah.
If you want to watch them, great. I definitely recommend it. You know, even if you don't like it, you should at least watch both trilogies at least once.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Creed.
And I'm Wade, and we did it in less than Peter Jackson would have done. So
Beat that, Peter Jackson.
Props.
Bang bang.